you had said that the whole plant-based thing, but don't you think that there are certain people who thrive on plant-based and then certain people who thrive on animal-based foods?
I would agree with you. However, um, in my opinion, the research that's out there, even though it's based on epidemiology, I always have trouble saying that word. Forgive me. It's still the best research we have, and it's, in my opinion, pretty accurate. So, for instance, if you look at the longest living population, it's the Okinawans, Japan. What do they eat? Well, they eat mostly vegan, and once a month they eat flesh food. Once a month, on average, they eat flesh food. They eat protein, like animal flesh. The vast majority of the time, they're eating sweet potato, which is one of the healthiest things you can eat, vegetables and rice and whatnot, other carbohydrates. They have a high carb, low fat diet. And they're the people who live the longest. And we have like, you know, countless, we have an abundant amount of data to prove this. Countries that eat low levels of flesh food and high levels of starch, low level of fat, high level of starch, live for a very long time and they're lean. They're physically lean. You know, I love how John McDougall puts it. He says, look, give me the fat on your body and I'll tell you exactly what you ate. He says, the fat that you eat is the fat that you wear. He's saying, I could tell you if the fat comes from a vegetable, from an animal product, if what kind of fat it is, if you ate chips or whatnot, where you got this fat, what you put in your body. Why? He says, if you have an abundance of calories, at the end of the day, your body stores fat more easily as fat than it does carbohydrates as fat. So there's a process where the body could take carbohydrates and turn it into fat. But he says, look, it's very difficult for the body to do that. It takes 30% of the calories consumed to turn carbohydrates into fat. Your body much rather turn fat that you consume into fat on your body. So I guarantee you, if you raise your carbohydrates and you lower your fat and you eat the right amount of calories, you also have to not overeat. Okay. You will be physically lean. And being physically lean is the number one health indicator. So according to the doctors like Joel Furman, they say, look, if you want me to tell you how long you're going to live, let me know what your level of visceral fat is, the fat you have in your organs, the fat you have in your system. Fat leads to disease.
Hmm.
So if you're abundantly fat and your organs are fat, you have fatty organs, you have visceral fat, you have fat living inside you, you're shortening your lifespan. So if you want to live the longest time, read up the starch solution. It's amazing because he has a whole website giving you all sorts of free recipes, and it's the most inexpensive diet in the world. In my opinion, I've done so many diets, man. Like I've even done the carnivore diet where you eat meat every day. I've tried it all. Okay, now I have athletes that swear by the carnivore diet. You're right. There's some people who believe they thrive more on the carnivore diet. But I've never seen a single person do the carnivore diet for 2, 3 years in a row. Every single carnivore guy, I meet him,
Not
I see him in a
sustainable,
restaurant
right?
eating rice and beans, and I see him eating spaghetti. And like my one of my students, Joshi Pierre, he does the carnivore diet. He cycles it, but he can't do it nonstop. He has to have his mashed potatoes. He has to have his rice. They always fold. They always want to reach for the bread.
Hmm.
They can only do it for so long. Okay, of course, if you do anything for 6 weeks, you're gonna feel benefit. If you stop, I don't know, if you stop eating candy bars for 6 weeks, you're gonna feel better. If you stop smoking for 6 weeks, you feel like anything. You can do anything for 6 weeks and feel better. But show me what you could do for life, for a lifetime. It's a lifestyle you have. I think that an athlete in our sport, because it's a glycogenic sport, you need carbohydrates.